Hello, welcome to Miranda's Mix. Thanks for stopping by. Today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey with Tretinoin. I've been using it for over 20 years. There has been intervals where I was on and off of it for a little bit, but for the most part I've used it continuously. I don't remember exactly how old I was when I started using this. I think I was maybe like 23 or 24 years old, but my dermatologist prescribed it to me because I used to have bad acne. I used to get zits and pimples of various types and sizes, even like the boils that would be underneath the skin. The way this works to combat acne is because it's making your skin cells constantly renew, and that's part of what helps with the anti-aging process, but it also works to keep your pores unblocked. So she prescribed it to me, and I remember her telling me this is really going to help with anti-aging and not getting wrinkles. I do have on makeup right now, but here's a look at how my face was earlier before I put on makeup. I have on all my normal moisturizers that I put on for the day and my sunblock. So you can see here that I do have some hyperpigmentation on my skin and some redness. I do have melasma, so that's a constant battle. Retinol and Tretinoin actually does help with that, so I think my melasma would be a lot worse if I wasn't using it. But what I like and I'm proud of in these pictures is you can see my texture looks smooth, creamy, you know, there's not a lot of fine lines and wrinkles, and so yeah, this is without makeup. I do have redness and hyperpigmentation, but again, I think that the smoothness and the texture of the skin you see here is a large part due to Tretinoin. Thank you, Tretinoin. I think the two main takeaways that I'll share with you, or that I plan on sharing with you today, is number one, what type of Tretinoin solution and the kind has worked for me as someone having oily combination skin, and then number two, what I mix it with every night that kind of helps, you know, relieve some of the dryness, and how I'm able to use it 7 nights a week. And a disclaimer on that factor: if you are just getting started with Tretinoin, you really want to, there's a whole process to it. You have to ease yourself into it. There's going to be a lot of things you go through. It's definitely worth going through that journey, but you definitely don't want to just dive into what I'm going to share with you today, because again, I've been using it for years. I think my skin can take a little bit more too than sensitive skin because of my oiliness, so I don't have as many of those factors of it drying my skin out or peeling. Nonetheless, I hope you still watch the entire video because I think you'll pick up useful tips. Also tonight I'll show you my actual application method for when I put on my Tretinoin for the night. But before we get into all that and the two main takeaways that I want to share with you, I know there might be some confusion on what is the difference between retinoids, Retin A, Retinol, Tretinoin. The way I understand it is that everything I just mentioned, they're all part of the family of retinoids, which are vitamin A, and that's what makes all the beneficial factors that we talked about earlier for the anti-aging and the acne prevention. But in short, Tretinoin is the generic brand of Retin A. So apparently Retin A, I've never seen it available. I don't know if it's an available prescription, but Retin A is the brand name of the retinoid prescription cream, and Tretinoin is the generic name. Those are the strongest form of the potions you're going to get, the prescription kind. When you hear retinol, that's everything else that's over the counter. That's why a lot of beauty products are able to have the retinol mixed in them. It's still a derivative of the vitamin A from the retinoid family, but retinols are not as strong as the prescription Tretinoin. Retinols are still very useful, but I know that the prescription type Retin A and Tretinoin are about 20% stronger than over-the-counter retinol. You'll see results faster, but also on the flip side, they're stronger too. So if you have overly sensitive skin, maybe just using a retinol is what you want to do. And I say just lightly because they do still have very beneficial factors. So Tretinoin comes in 3 strengths. There's 0.025, 0.05, and 0.1. I actually use 0.1, which is the strongest of the 3. Thing to keep in mind if you're just getting started, maybe you want to start at the 0.025 and work your way up to the 0.1, or maybe you stay at 0.025 forever. It depends on your skin's needs, so you want to make sure to consult with, you know, your skincare specialist. But I use the 0.1, and again, I think me having oily skin helps combat some of it, because this could be very dry in somebody with, you know, maybe dry skin perhaps. Continuing on about the particular solution of tretinoin I use, in addition to using 0.1, another fact is that these also come in gel or cream. And what's interesting is that I use the cream rather than the gel. Like, I equate the gel being more so for somebody that has oily skin as myself, and then the cream being for somebody that has more normal to dry skin. So normally, like, when I consider skincare products or solutions, I opt for the ones that would be more so for oily skin, which I think the gel would be, but I just have found that that was too drying for me, so I do opt for the cream even though I have oily skin. And maybe that's what's helpful of me being able to tolerate the 0.1, is that it's not as drying. The second thing I wanted to share with you in this video is what I use at night to mix with my tretinoin. In short, you want to stay away from things that are fragrance-free, anything that has active ingredients, and just something that's kind of more on the natural side. I had already had this epicurin, and I was starting to mix my tretinoin with different moisturizers that I use, and nothing really helped it spread good. I didn't like it, but somehow I tried it with this and it really has worked well for me. This is the epicurin facial emulsion enzyme moisturizer, and they don't really have it advertised as like a nighttime cream. So again, this is for me with oily skin. I just have found that it really helps moisturize and helps it spread around more easily, instead of just feeling like I'm spreading paste or something on my face, which it doesn't really feel like in the first place, but it just to me makes it feel like a serum all in one. Again, they don't really have this advertised as like a nighttime cream, but with the fact that I'm using like the cream version of the tretinoin versus the gel and having oily skin, I think for me, I find that it's enough moisture. So it's actually like 4 days later. This was a crazy week. I didn't get a chance to record myself doing the nighttime routine until tonight. So I actually jinxed myself too, talking about my smooth skin, because I have this new visitor here. Also, this melasma spot this week has really flared up. It's winter here. It's been cold, so I've been blasting the heat. Space heater at work, been taking hot showers. I know that's bad and I could feel it, but again, it's been so cold. And then also on Super Bowl was just this past Sunday, we were watching at a friend's house, and I was sitting next to his fire pit, and I could feel that flaming up my face too. So I'm paying the price. I'm gonna have to work on lightening that, but let's get into the application tonight. Already washed my face, all my makeup off and patted dry, so I'm going to get ready to apply my two nighttime products. I forgot to mention earlier that I also sometimes use hyaluronic acid serum to mix with the tretinoin in lieu of the epicurin. That mixes pretty well too, so I think I'm going to incorporate that, not tonight, but probably tomorrow. I'll use the hyaluronic acid serum since it's like cold and dry, as I mentioned earlier, just to ensure I'm getting the right level of moisture that my skin needs. But yeah, you can use hyaluronic acid serum is also another good mixture. Up until recently, I used to mix these two on my like fingers and then apply it to my face all at once. But I recently saw a YouTube short from Dr. Dray. It's D-R-A-Y. She's a dermatologist and she has tons of knowledgeable information on her channel. But she did a short saying that you shouldn't mix it on your hand ahead of time, because you might not be mixing it thoroughly, and then when you apply it to your face, you know, one side might be getting more tretinoin than the other, for example, so maybe that side's going to get drier, the other side's not going to reap the benefits. So she said it's better to apply it separately, and she also said that it's recommended that you do the tretinoin directly onto your face if you can tolerate it, and then put your moisturizer on top. But if you tend to have dry skin or are too sensitive, you can do the moisturizer first and then follow up with the tretinoin, and your skin will still absorb the tretinoin. So I'm gonna do it with the tretinoin first, and then do the epicurin after that. I don't usually have my hair down when I'm doing my nighttime routine. I'm just trying to deflect from some of the craziness that you see right now. But anyways, on to the tretinoin. If you've been researching it, you probably have seen numerous times that you should only use a pea-size amount. That is a pea-size amount, even though I smeared it a little bit. But anything more, you're gonna dry your face out. There has been times where I accidentally like squeezed out too much, and I'm like, oh, I don't care, I'm just gonna use it, this stuff's gold, I'm just gonna do it. And then sure enough, like a day or two later, I have some slight peeling. So even me with my oily skin only does a pea-sized amount, and you should too. So I have this, and like I said, I'm newer to applying this directly to my face rather than mixing it with my moisturizer. So I've just been kind of dabbing it on the main spots and then doing a mass rub. So I just want to make sure that I have it spread on most areas of my face. I do sometimes do a little bit around the eyes because I'm used to it, a little bit under the eyebrow area. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it doesn't take much to rub it in because it's just that small pea-sized amount. And I don't wait for it to dry all the way, but I do want it to just dry a little bit before I put the lotion on. I do use this fan when I'm applying the different layers of my face products. Friends have laughed at me, but it's useful. I mean, I used to use a magazine tear out, like back in the day when I would have hard subscriptions to like Glamour magazine or Women's Health, those little postcard tear outs. I would save those and use that as a fan in the bathroom, but I've been investing in hand fans. So now I'm going to apply the Epicurin. For the Epicurin, I usually do about like 3 squeezes, so kind of maybe more so like 3 parts lotion, 1 part tretinoin, and then just go into spreading. I don't wash my hands after the tretinoin. I like any remnants I might have to get on there, but yeah, it pretty much spread already. So that's pretty much it. If you do have access, sometimes I put on a little bit more lotion than I meant to, but it's all good. Just use that on your neck and décolleté area, but do that last unless you're freshly showered, because you don't want any like of the day sunscreens or body lotions that you may have on your neck and chest area to, you don't want to put that on your face. I forgot to mention earlier too how important SPF is when you're using tretinoin. I mean, it's important SPF for everyone, but especially so being on this prescription, because it does make you more sensitive to the sun. So although you use it at night, you want to make sure to wash it off in the morning. Don't go outside with it on your face. And even once you physically remove it, just, you know, using it is going to make you more susceptible to sun damage. So make sure to use your SPF. I'm embarrassed to say how recently I started using SPF on my face. I should have been using it years and years ago. That's probably part of the reason I developed melasma. So I'm gonna put on my eye cream that I use for the night, the Palmer's Cocoa Butter. I've been using that for years and have dreams about how I should have started using SPF a lot sooner in life. On that note, I thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I hope you found this video useful. 23 or 24, but my dermatologist